life don't give a damn whether you think you the guy. Life will prove whether you a man or not. You can walk around with your chest out, I'm a man, I'm a man. Life will prove whether you right or wrong. You know what? When life checks men, when the applause stops. When the applause stops for all the good you've done, and you got to face life on your own with nobody to blame. I'm gonna tell you when you know you're a man, when you stop blaming people for where you've been and what you've gone through. You can't check your manhood until you stop blaming people for the things that have happened in your life. That's the facts.
My brothers, I'm back. I just dropped a podcast called Stop Trying to Fit In. Now, I thought it was important that I come back with another one about the dangers of trying to fit in. The biggest danger that I think is the biggest danger of trying to fit in, loss of identity. The loss of identity. You become what people want you to become, not who you truly are. And a lot of us see that in marriage. A lot of us have been through relationship like that, where you fallen in love with somebody and forgot who you were to just give them what they want. We've run into that as men. You give a woman what you want. A lot of relationships break down because in a lot of cases, men forget what they want, forget who they are. And then you wake up one day and say, wait a minute, I forgot me. See, that's what love will do to you, man, because that's when it comes to love, you got to love you and you got to love them. And in fact, bringing your best self to them a lot of times is about loving you first. Loving you is not selfish. It's necessary, man, so you can bring all of you to the table. Just like with your children. There's nothing wrong with taking care of your children. As fathers, that's what we got to do. But are you being your best self? I found a lot of times as a dad, man, I got 4 kids. I found a lot of times as a dad, I wasn't being myself. I was trying to just get them on case, get them on point, do the things you thought dads would do. You know what your kids really need, bro? Your kids really need you to be yourself. They need that funny you. They need that crazy you. They need that exciting you instead of being bogged down with everything else. Man, they need you. So be you, right? Mental exhaustion, man, is another thing that you run into when you're trying to fit in. It's like running a race. Your mind is always, how can I? You know what's not hard? You know what doesn't wear you out? Being you. Anytime you find yourself worn out all the time in your mind, trying to fit in, trying to do what other people want, you're exhausted, man, because it's not what you're supposed to be. That's not the right element. See, constantly adjusting yourself wears you out. Constantly adjusting yourself to be accepted, constantly, it will drain you. And that's why you're tired a lot of times. Right here, it ain't the body that gets tired. It's the mind. It's the mind that gets tired. It wears you out from trying to fit in, man. Let that stuff go. Mental exhaustion. A lot of you are mentally torn apart because you're trying to fit in. No, man, being yourself takes no exercise. You were that when you were born. Mental manipulation and exploitation happens when a lot of us, we want to be strong. We want to play the strong game. But the truth is, man, when you're trying to fit in to be what everybody wants you to be, what the family said and what the church said and what the masjid said and what your wife wants and all these things, man, people will take advantage of you and you'll become what they want and forget what you were supposed to become. Right? That's the thing, man. When you are in a point where you're being taken advantage of, man, then you become desperate to belong. If you don't feel like you're fitting, you become desperate to belong. And that'll wear you out, bro. It will run you right into the wall of stress, depression, oppression. Look at all the things that happen. Even physical sickness, bro, happens because of what happens in your mind. It hits your body after a while. Some of us are that worn out where our body is suffering from trying to be what other people need it to be, man. You got to loose yourself from that. Then you stop growing. You stop growing when you try to be somebody else. When you're in your own soil, you grow like you're supposed to grow. Because you know what happens? Growth requires challenge. Growth requires challenge, man. But you know what? Trying to be like everybody else, it keeps you stagnant. A lot of us, you could have grew big, man. You could have grew, and I'm not talking about just being big in the world, but you could have done a lot of things you wanted to do, but you became stagnant, man, because you were walking in the circles of acceptance. Fear-based living. Fear-based living has messed a lot of us up. Fear-based, what everybody going to think. Every decision you make becomes about avoiding rejection. Scary place to be, man. Scary place to be. And see, a lot of you listen to this saying, yeah, you can look back over your life as a man and say, yeah, I did this here. I did that here, man. Right, take an assessment of your life sometime. I think as men, we don't do that enough. We don't take assessment of our life enough to say, you know what, that was true 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And you will look up and be surprised, man. You will look up and be surprised, like, man, I lost a lot of my life trying to fit in. I lost a lot of my life trying to make sure everybody else accepted me. You got to accept you. You got to accept. Do you accept you? You worried about people that love you? Do you love you? Check out one of my other podcasts. Giving yourself what you need, or giving yourself what you're trying to chase. The thing you're trying to chase is chasing you. Give yourself the things you need instead of looking all around for them. Because you'll run into people that it becomes about exchange. You want this and I need this. Give yourself the love you need. Forget the acceptance, man. Some of you walked away from women you love because of acceptance. Will other people accept her? You know, I know there's probably some guys on here, some spiritual guys. And you was more worried about whether your girl would fit into the spiritual acceptance. What everybody else thinks she's for you. You got to choose who's for you. You see what I'm saying now? Relationships get messed up on acceptance. Sometimes we mess our own children up based on acceptance. We spend too much money trying to be accepted. You bought the wrong car. Now you're stressing out trying to pay bills, trying to be accepted. See, we're men, but all of us, a lot of us who've been through trauma, which most of us have, you stop growing at that place of trauma. And there, even as a grown man, there's still some things you do like you were 10 or 12 years old because that was the place you got rejected. That was the place you hit that trauma. Then a lot of us are trying to chase down what we didn't get or how people didn't see us. And now you're 45, 50 years old, still trying to chase something that you feel like you got rejected then. And nobody gonna treat me like that no more. Don't chase that, bro. You're worthy of moving forward. You're worthy of being yourself. So be yourself. Be yourself. Because that's the best thing you can ever be. Hey, man, thanks for listening again. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of this community where grown men keep on growing. The Dear Brother Podcast, bro. Let's grow. Share this podcast with other people, other men who you know, man. You know, that's real talk. That's real talk, man. Let me share this with my brother. Let me share this with my uncle. Let me share this with my homies. Because it's real talk. You don't get judged here, bro. Everything you hear me say here is because I've been through something that put me right here. That's why I love, man. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this podcast. Let me know what you think about this particular podcast. Have you ever been there as a man? And I'm going to tell you right now, when you share that stuff in the comments, man, other men can say, you know what, I ain't the only one. Because that's a lot of times what we think. We think we're the only one that run into these places. We think we're the only ones that run into these hard spaces. No, man, all of us do. The problem is, as men, we hide. So then we think we're the only one. You're not the only one. Too many subscribers on this podcast already. It's a reason why we subscribe. It's because we know this thing. We know the ups and downs of manhood. But let's stand tall together, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, become part of the community. Hit that notification, man. Then you can know when I drop new videos, I come on live, all right? Hey, man, you matter to me. Make sure you matter to you. Be brilliant today because you absolutely are. Say it with me. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. All we got is right now. What you gonna do about it? Hey, bro, I love you. Until next time. See you soon. Peace.